5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Good morning, misfits. All right, we're still having trouble with the fucking volume, the level thingy. All right, whatever. I'm sure you guys can hear me. What the fuck? We got Gatsby. Gatsby wouldn't leave, so he's gonna be in the show today. Everyone loves Gatsby. He's such a good dog. Like he really is. He's like the best dog. Just comes in, lies down on the carpet. What the fuck, Steven? Steven Crowder went and clipped my video. And I'm going to look, I still love Steven Crowder. I don't give a shit if he clipped my video. I'm not going to assume nefarious intent, but I am going to clap back in the nicest way possible. I'm gonna play you the first like few seconds, like what he clipped, and he was making an argument that the people on the right who are trying to quote cancel Tucker Carlson are taking the wrong strategy. Then he clips my fucking video to make it seem like I'm part of that group, but then he goes through all the other talking points that I made in that video. All right, let's play it, and you guys judge for yourselves. All right.
There's a lot of people online talking about how the right is trying to cancel Tucker Carlson. First of all, this is 100% accurate. Tucker is not MAGA.
Okay. I don't know if you know this, I'm quite anti-cancel.
Yeah, me too, motherfucker. Look, it's I love Steven. If you cut that clip right there, right? It made it sound like I was saying, yeah, we're trying to cancel Tucker Carlson. Like, yeah, this is absolutely what's happening. No, I was saying, first of all, what is accurate is Tucker Carlson is not MAGA for all the reasons that I'm about to say and you said on your show. And look, I'm not salty about it. Like I said, I don't think that Steven Crowder directly clipped this video. I don't even think that the people in the control room clipped it intentionally to make it seem like I was saying something I wasn't. I think that they might have just not watched the video. If they did, that's kind of shady, but I don't think that they did because, I know Steven just had a show where he was talking about how they just did this to Trump, and I truly don't believe he would do that. But if he had played like, I don't know, 3 more seconds of that video, it would have showed that I clarified. But we're gonna run through all of this, and I spliced his video together. I think you're too close to the mic. Maybe that might be it. How's that? Better? I think that I spliced this whole video together, and I think that if you watch it, if Steven does see this, doubt he will. He will realize they made a big boo-boo with me, and there should be admonishment buttons all over the place.
First of all, this is 100% accurate. Tucker is not MAGA.
And
Tucker is not being canceled.
And there's a difference, though, between when people say cancel culture, which was a term that was used quite a bit, where that's coming from those in positions of power who are deliberately precluding people because of a specific point of view or political persuasion. I know that that is not the same thing as people en masse deciding that they don't want to support someone and having a problem with it. That's closer to a boycott.
I agree completely.
And on the flip side, a boycott.
What we are doing is setting a standard based on the truth that we, MAGA, do not believe in what he believes in. Was it cancel culture when the right unified together and said that we're not going to support Bud Light because they're promoting a fucking trans person on the front of their can?
No, it wasn't. It was setting a standard. The same thing we're doing with Tucker.
Was it cancel culture when the right unified together and said we're not going to support Target because they have a trans kids section? Or
no, it wasn't. It was the same thing. Well, at least I am doing with Tucker. Now, you can make the argument that Mark Levin is actually trying to cancel Tucker. You can make the argument that the people that are, harassing the Heritage Foundation and kind of forcing them into that corner where Kevin Roberts did a horrible job handling the situation, those people may be trying to cancel Tucker, and I don't agree with it. I am anti-cancel culture. My whole fucking thing is fuck cancel culture. Sean was just talking on his show about how we do a show every fucking Wednesday. Me and Sean Farish have said over and over and over again that we don't want these people silenced. We want them platformed, right? We want them to speak as much as humanly possible. I think that if they do that, then I have faith in the people that watch that they will reject it.
Or was that us setting a fucking boundary, saying, this is not what we believe in, this is not what we support, so we are not going to support it, and we're going to publicly condemn it and criticize it? Because that's what we're doing with Tucker Carlson. It's not cancel culture at all.
That's not, I'm always very uncomfortable with people making that argument. And I see a lot of people saying, he's platforming these people. You sound like the left. Now
I agree. Right? If you say don't platform Nick Fuentes, if you say don't platform this person, that person, whatever, that's silly, right? I've made this comparison many times. In Weimar Germany, at the rise of Hitler's power, they were trying to silence, cancel, or even arrest Hitler collaborators, Nazi supporters, and a lot of people, myself included, attribute that to the rise to Hitler's power. Because when you try to silence somebody, when you try to, quote, cancel them, when you don't give them a platform, people start wondering why. And they start supporting them out of spite. Okay? Not what I'm doing. And if anybody is doing that, don't do that.
Put forward what I think should make one skeptical. If you get to that point where you are...
Oh, now... Steven Crowder's about to play my clip, or not play my clip. He's about to agree with what I said in my clip.
Or, for example, running interference, pushing propaganda for known foreign adversaries, like espousing propaganda regarding Russian grocery stores.
Interview with Putin. Now, the interview itself wasn't that bad. A lot of people gave pushback, but then a lot of people, myself included, were like, dude, you can interview Putin without being pro-Putin. Now,
look at that. I agree with Steven Crowder.
Shortly after that, Tucker Carlson did what a lot of people said was a propaganda video for Putin in Russia, where he was talking about how the subways are clean and the grocery stores are amazing. And then people were like, okay, dude, the interview was fine, but what the fuck are you talking about? And, if that was a one-off, right, then maybe the criticisms would be, a little misguided.
He's smart enough to know that is not only half the story, but it's misleading, it's dishonest. I have no problem with him interviewing Vladimir Putin. I'm skeptical when I see someone spouting the talking points that Putin would like that are lies, that are dishonest.
Yeah.
Is that fair? Can you guys comment? Let me know if I'm trying to be...
More than fair. This is why I said it. Motherfucking clip me out of context. You son of a bitch.
As fair as humanly possible. Nope.
Right, but then, he goes and he defends Sharia law in one of his podcasts, talking about, I never want to live in a place with Sharia law. The rape
And we're about to agree again, Stephen.
Statistics are so low because if the women report them, they will be fucking murdered. And everybody has a Lamborghini because the only people that have Lamborghinis are the ones that stole all the money from the people below them.
Okay, it should give you pause if someone simps for Sharia law.
Sharia law is bad, Seth. I don't know if you've heard that. It's bad. It's worse than what's happening in New York and Detroit. It's just bad.
Correct.
I don't know why. You should know, Seth, that the real danger is Sharia law. Sharia law. And you can tell when you go to a place like Abu Dhabi or Riyadh, like, oh man, I hope we don't ever wind up with a society like this.
Now do
With
Kandahar.
a rape rate of 0, where you leave your keys in your Lamborghini and don't ever worry about it being stolen. And, if people want to get wasted, they do it at home. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you guys caught that, right? You said a rape rate of 0.
Yeah.
Do you know the statistical likelihood of there being a rape rate of 0 in an Islamic country? Ironically, it's 0.
We are putting him in fucking context. We are showing you who he is and what he believes. And we are getting gaslit by a bunch of fucking cult member, groupthink people on the right who don't understand the difference between what we're doing and what the left does.
To be clear, I'm not saying that that's Steven. I'm saying that there are a bunch of groupthink Republicans. I would put Matt Walsh in this category, who is saying no enemies to the right. Right? Don't call out Tucker Carlson. Don't call out Nick Fuentes. Let's all unify and fight the left because, ooh, like the left, they're fucking done. Yeah, I know. They just had like a really good night in these elections last night. But trust me, long term, that's a good thing. And I'll get to that later. We're going to cover that, why what happened last night is actually going to probably be very beneficial to us in the upcoming 2026 and 2028 elections.
But the people who claim to be traditional conservatives, well, why aren't you going after the ideas? And if you are, you're not doing it very effectively. It just seems like two versions of identity politics on the right, and I don't want to play that game.
Right.
Okay. Again, right. Identitarian politics, right? Where everything's about identity. Everything's about the Jews. Everything's about white people. Everything's about black people. Everything's about this. Everything's about that. I don't want to play that game either, which is why I have made my main fight this year against the woke right, which is an identitarian group on the right. It's literally 90% of my content now.
And now he's just recently said, like, Maduro isn't that bad. He got rid of the gays.
Oh, look, me and Steven are about to agree again.
He's a fucking communist, socialist, whatever, dude. He's literally, it's fucking Maduro, bro. The poverty rate in Venezuela is 91%. No, it's not a good place to live just because they'll kill you for being gay.
Next example. This, I think, warrants some skepticism or some follow-up questions. For example, portraying Maduro as like a based tradcon type guy, the communist.
Nicolas Maduro and his government are very left-wing on economics.
Not
on social policy, by the way, which is pretty interesting. In Venezuela, gay marriage is banned, abortion is banned, sex changes for transgenderism are banned. It's one of the very few countries in the entire hemisphere.
It's like, do you guys understand why people are coming after Tucker Carlson now? Well, common sense people like me. I agree with Steven. If you're just saying if you're just saying like cancel Tucker Carlson or like Tucker is not MAGA, like, and you're using it as a talking point, I agree that that's stupid, which is why I have made all of my arguments with facts, where I have brought up all of these points over and over again. And I also understand that it's the internet, right? It's the internet. You get taken out of context, you get clipped, it gets sent over to Steven. Steven sees something that he maybe doesn't watch all of my content, and he's like, oh my God, that's stupid. But no, this is what I have been saying, which is why I put this clip together. It's why the show started 5 minutes late. It took me like a half hour to put all this together to show that me and Steven are saying the exact same thing.
With those policies, it is on social policy, not defending the regime, just saying one of the most conservative countries in North or South or Central America. Only El Salvador really comes close.
Interesting logo
which is
up
much
there.
Smaller, of course. And by the way, the U.S.-backed opposition leader who would take Maduro's place if he were taken out is, of course, pretty eager to get gay marriage in Venezuela. So to those of you who thought this whole project was globo homo, not crazy, actually.
Yeah, but that's not the primary disagreement. It always just comes down to what is convenient for that government to control its people at that point in time, and it's why every single one has been thrust into abject poverty, which I think is kind of important, even if they don't allow gay marriage. So in 2024, while we're making the moral argument, 2024 alone, Venezuela generated $2.6 billion in human trafficking revenue. 188,000 people were forced into labor. 70.
Yeah, and Tucker has done this several times, right? Where he's like, okay, I don't agree with all of Putin's policies, but grocery stores are great. Subways are fucking clean, right? And now he's doing the same thing with Nick Fuentes. I don't agree with, you know, your Hitler stuff, but I do agree with your America First Israel perspective. It's like, hey, how about just don't fucking agree with that person and find somebody who isn't an absolute scumbag piece of shit Jew hater to agree with, right? Now, like, that's not me saying don't platform Nick Fuentes. I'm saying if I had a bunch of options of people I agree with, and I'm not advocating for creating an echo chamber, right? I'm just saying if I had a bunch of options of people I agree with on a topic, I would bring those people on and I would agree with them. Then I would bring on somebody like Nick Fuentes and I would be like, okay, let's talk about you saying that if you were in power, Jews would be given the death penalty. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like platform the people with bad ideas and talk about the bad ideas. Don't platform the people with bad ideas and only isolate their quote good ideas. This is the same argument that fucking Kanye made on Alex Jones. He's like, yeah, well, fucking highways and microwaves or whatever the fuck. And it's like, bro, but what about 6 million dead people? Like, can we talk about that too? Or even make that the main point?
1,000 sex slaves. 105,000 forced marriages. Now, someone could argue, hey, yeah, but the arranged marriages have a higher divorce rate. Well, that tends to happen if you kill someone for divorcing.
Essentially, if you're a piece of shit, Tucker Carlson's like, you know, you're not that bad. But if you're a Jew or a Christian who supports the Jews, oh yeah, no, you're the worst.
Christians and then the Christian Zionists who are, well, Christian Zionists. Like, what is that? Right. And I could just say,
I've said this before, but a Christian Zionist is literally just a Christian, a follower of Christ, who believes in Zionism, the belief that the Jews, under the Abrahamic covenant in the Bible, have a right to that homeland because of the promise God made with them. That's all it is, right? Modern Zionism under Theodore Herzl as some, like, you know, geopolitical issue where they wanted to create a nation state. It's different, but it's inspired by the same fucking thing, right? So supporting the country of Israel is not what makes you a Christian Zionist. That's what would make you more like a secular Zionist or a modern Zionist. Christian Zionism is a biblical principle, which is why I am a Christian Zionist.
for myself, I dislike them more than anybody. You know, because like what? Because it's Christian heresy, and I'm offended. Yeah.
It's not Christian heresy. It's that's he's espousing replacement theology. And I remember just, I think it was a year or two ago when Tucker Carlson was on a stage and he's like, I just started reading the Bible. I'm halfway through it or something like that. Right? It's like, okay, so you're a new Christian. That's, and people need to understand that a lot of these people that are online, these, I call them chat GPT Christians, just picked up a Bible or haven't picked up a Bible at all and are really just using out of context theological passages to try to frame the narrative based off of their own political biases, right? That's what's happening. They're not real, like, well, I don't want to say they're not real Christians, right? They might believe that in Jesus. They're misguided Christians at best, right? Candace Owens is a misguided Christian, right? I was raised Catholic, been Catholic my whole life. I don't really consider myself a Catholic anymore, because of some of the, you know, let's call it politics of it. I don't consider myself anything. I've wrestled with this. Am I Protestant? Am I evangelical? Am I this? Am I that? I'm just nothing. I'm just a Christian. I'm just a Christian from now on. Okay? I'm not tying myself to any denomination. I think it's stupid, right? I think that you take man-made institutions and you try to say that, okay, we, man, interpreted the Bible, made a group, and you can join our group. I'm only part of one group, Jesus.
That is a Christian.
So just to be clear, the people that Tucker Carlson hates less than me, because I'm a Christian Zionist, is Putin, Maduro, Nick Fuentes, Andrew Tate, and Sharia practicing Muslims, who, by the way, are slaughtering tens of thousands of Christians in Nigeria right now and have slaughtered hundreds of thousands, actually millions of Christians throughout the world over the past like 50 years, right? But no, we're the problem because we believe that the Jews shouldn't be slaughtered by the Sharia practicing Muslims. No, we're heretics. Tucker Carlson has been a Christian for like a couple years. I've been a Christian my whole fucking life, right? If anybody's going to call anybody a heretic, I think I'm going to have more weight behind my statement when I say what you're talking about is actual heresy. Now, as far as whether or not people are canceling Tucker Carlson, no, we're not. Cancel culture is when some group of people runs you through a purity test based off of a lie.
And what we're doing is putting him into context and talking about the truth about Tucker Carlson. So, I wanted that to be longer. I had a couple more clips. For instance, Steven Crowder says something like, I don't think you're that smart, and like this, that, and the other. I don't think he was referring to me. Okay, I hope not, but if he was, hey, fuck you. But no, I like look. This isn't like a real big clapback at Crowder. It's more of using his video to drive my point home that the people that I have been saying this to already understand. I think that cancel culture is it's becoming more prevalent on the right. But that does not mean that I will not ever adopt a policy. I will never adopt a policy of no enemies to the right. And when I call them out, that is not cancel culture, right? When I put them in context, that's not cancel culture. When I expose them, that's not cancel culture. When I say that I honestly, truly believe that Tucker Carlson should lose every one of his sponsors and fade into obscurity, that does not mean that I think that we should force those sponsors to leave Tucker Carlson. I think that what we should do is expose Tucker Carlson, and hopefully those sponsors have some type of moral compass where they go, I'm not going to put you're not getting my fucking money. That's what I would hope would happen. Oh my God. Did you just donate a fucking dollar to me so you could talk shit? Did you do that? Did you really do that? Somebody in the chat's like, you mad about Nick Fuentes' words more than Israelis' melted babies. Christ is king. I'll read your fucking chat. If my haters want to start giving me money to read their chats, fucking please. Right. In fact, I hope you all come over here to Rumble and donate $1 so that I can read your stupid fucking takes. You're mad about Nick Fuentes' words more than Israelis' melted babies. Christ is king. You worship the synagogue of Satan. I'm not broke. NI66ER. Gotcha. Another $1. Keep them coming. I like money. You're mad about Nick Fuentes' words. I'm not mad about Nick Fuentes' words. I don't get mad about words. If you guys have ever seen me debate, I usually smile through the entire thing. Um, like the melted babies thing, I don't know what that is in reference to. I think it means like Israelis counteroffensives killed children, probably. Yeah, that's war. Don't start a war. So, not broke, but you only threw $1 in. Throw 100 in, motherfucker, if you're not broke. All right. But anyway, yes, that was the What the Fuck Steven segment. I would like an admonishment button for whoever clipped that video. Probably Gerald. I'm just kidding. And I wanted everybody to understand that that there really is a difference between cancel culture and what we're doing, and what we are doing is not cancel culture. And trust me, I would fucking know. Taking people out of context based off of a joke, right? Or like something somebody said 10 years ago, or something that like somebody was clipped, and then the purity test, the woke mob comes after you with a purity test. Ironically, the woke right is trying to cancel me right now over that issue I had last year where I was jumped by four people. Three of them were in the fucking lawsuit, and I had to go to court and fight that, and I actually won that lawsuit because I was in a hotel lobby and a career criminal and his friends jumped me. I fought back. I won that fight. It was 3-on-1, but you know they were bitches, and the guy who actually accused me of beating him up, the elderly person, by the way, he was over 60, but he didn't look it. You know, black don't crack. We found out it does bleed though. Yeah, that motherfucker bled. Anyway, there are people that are like constantly throwing that shit at me. They're putting me through a purity test, like, oh, you beat up an elderly person. You beat up an elderly person. That's cancel culture. That's cancel culture, right? Taking somebody out of context, something that they never said, that they don't believe, it's not who they are. It doesn't define them, and trying to destroy that person's life based off of a lie. That's cancel culture. What's happening now with Tucker is we're just going, hey, I don't agree with this. All right. I don't agree with this. We shouldn't support this. We shouldn't align with this. We shouldn't bring this into the tent. That's what's happening. Fastest way. Now I'm going to read this fucking idiot's next. He gave me $2 this time. We have $2 now. Fastest way to grow the GOP with non-whites would be to throw off the Zionist lobby. You're spelled incorrectly, not MAGA. You are Gaffy grabs ankles for Israel. Got it. Got it. You're illiterate. Yes. All right. Now, let's move on to.
There's a lot of people online.
Sorry. The actual daily breakdown. Okay. So, if you've never seen the daily breakdown before, here's what we do. Today is Woke Wednesday, so we are going to cover. We're going to cover Brett Cooper. We're going to cover Jay Jones. Those are the two people that I headlined, but we're going to cover more than that. But what we normally do to start off the show is we go through the news, right? As you can see here, I just typed in the word news. Okay, news under the Brave browser, and these are the top stories that came up. So, Show Links has the top 3. I may not spell good, you may not spell well, but I know what the USS Liberty is. You said, hold on, I'm gonna read that in the Forrest Gump voice. I may not spell good, but I know what the USS Liberty is. Okay. The USS Liberty was a friendly fire incident where the US and Israel both came to the agreement that, whoops, my bad, and we gave them a whole bunch of money, so shut the fuck up about the USS Liberty. All right, next up. Live New York City mayoral election results. Zohran Mamdani defeats Andrew Cuomo. No. Zohran Mamdani defeated Curtis Sliwa. Okay. Andrew Cuomo was a spoiler. And look, I'm going to get to what I think is the absolute fucking wrong reaction to what happened last night. I'm seeing some people of the Jewish persuasion having absolutely awful takes about this, and I'm going to try to be kind, but I'm going to call some people out that I like and respect because I think you're silly and stupid, and I don't, I practice what I preach. I say, call out your own side. But let's get through this first. Zohran Mamdani won with 50.4% of the vote. So if anybody is saying that Curtis Sliwa and his 7.1% spoiled this race and you should have just dropped out, you're retarded, right? Because if you add 7.1 to 41.6, you get 48.7. And 48.7 is less than 50.4. Zohran Mamdani won the race against Sliwa, right? That's what happened. I'm sorry. I know that you guys think that you 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 betrayed your ideological principles and you voted for the granny killing groper, not groper, groper. He groped women. Um, and you shouldn't have done that because Mamdani was going to win no matter what. And I said this was going to happen, right? What you should have done was you should have stuck to your moral principles and voted with your party. If you were a Republican, you should have voted for Curtis Lewa. He was the person that most closely aligned with your beliefs, and you were punished for it, right? I mean, even if you had lost, you would have been able to, look yourself in the mirror and say, I at least stuck to my principles. And you didn't. Okay? This might be tough love. You might not like to hear this. You might unfollow me. I don't fucking care. Okay? I'm telling you what happened. Mom Donnie won because you panicked. Okay? I mean, I think he probably would have won no matter what because I think that this was doomed. I think that, like, no, but they didn't put a good candidate up against him. Curtis Lewa was not a good candidate. He was just the one that most closely aligned with your values. And I saw a bunch of people, and Trump included. I gave Trump shit for this. Endorsing Cuomo. He didn't really endorse him, but he half endorsed him. They're going to try to do this now in every single election because of what you guys just set as a precedent, right? They're going to put a crazy radical socialist and they're going to put a woke Democrat in the race against Republicans in these deep blue cities, and you're going to be like, "Well, the polling says that the guy that I most align with isn't going to win, so I'm just going to start." How they got you to vote Democrat? You realize that? You folded. This was a test. You failed. Mamdani won because he ran a better campaign, because he most closely aligns with the people of New York. They want this. Okay? If they want this, let them have it. Your options now are fucking move or deal with it. This is the place that you chose to live. I lived in Boston for years. I moved to Texas. You know why? Because it was one of the other 49 states that didn't suck. So I don't want to hear your bullshit about how Curtis was the problem. Okay. In fact, let's go and check that out right now. This is the absolute wrong attitude to have. I think I might have gone too far. There, here we go. I will never forgive Curtis Sliwa. From the beginning, he campaigned against Cuomo instead of against Mamdani. Now, this is a fair criticism, right? Curtis ran a horrible campaign, right? He was fighting against Cuomo instead of the Mamdani. He knew he was the spoiler and refused to bow out, as Eric Adams for New York City did. Now, this part I don't agree with, right? He was not the spoiler. Curtis Sliwa won a primary. Andrew Cuomo did not. Okay? The people of New York that are registered Republicans have the right to a candidate that represents them. You may not like that. You may think that they're the minority. You'd be right, they are. But they have a right to vote for a Republican candidate. And you demanding that the Republican candidate bow out it's antithetical to everything that representative government stands for. I never want to see his stupid red beret or his face again. I'm saying this with my full chest. Fuck you, Curtis Sliwa. Now I like these people, by the way, that I'm criticizing. I don't know why that went there. I think I put the wrong. I accidentally uploaded the wrong screenshot. Um, Bricksuit unfollowed me, and I sent that to Sean. I don't know why you unfollowed me, but hey, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna get butthurt about it. There was another one in here where it was, I think it was Emily Austin, and I like, guys, look, it's not Curtis Lewa's fault that Mom Donnie won. Anybody claiming it is, I saw that people were like, "Oh, it was momentum." All right, actually, let's look at the comments. Um, go fuck yourself. This guy better come over here and pay me money if he wants me to read that. Sliwa not dropping out messed up our lives. No, it didn't. You messed up. You messed up by not getting more involved in Republican politics in New York City. That's what you should have done. You should have fought harder over the past 5 years, 10 years, instead of thinking that you're going to be able to win one race by voting for the least scummy Democrat. Um, I agree with you 99% of the time. Curtis should have dropped out months ago. He had no business being in. Yes, he did. He was the Republican representative. If there was a better Republican candidate, I would agree they should have stayed in. Wrong. Nobody challenged him. The Republicans should have put up somebody better. Your fault, not Sliwa's. He ran unopposed. Why didn't you put up a better candidate? Your fault. Curtis is a good guy, bad candidate. Cuomo is a bad guy and a bad candidate. Right? Trump should have endorsed Sliwa. I agree. Why would you take responsibility when you can blame others? Agree. It's a life lesson for New York. Agree. So I think that some people agree with me. This is not his fault. Let's see if they have any others, other races. And again, just to bring this home, right? If you add these two numbers together, it doesn't do this. So you would have had to have 100% of the 146,137 people vote for Andrew Cuomo, and it still wouldn't have been enough. And it wouldn't have been 100%, right? Some of these people would have stayed home. Maybe some of them would have voted for Cuomo. Maybe it would have bumped him up to 44%, 45%. Doesn't matter. 100% of the Republicans that voted for Curtis Sliwa would not have voted for Andrew Cuomo. He's not a spoiler. Let's see here. Shutdown was a big factor in last night's Democratic victories. And you know what? This is 100% accurate. This is why the Democrats are not reopening the government. They're the ones that put on maximum pressure. So you have the government shut down, and you have a socialist who's saying, I'm going to give you free shit. So all the people that had their free shit taken away were like, I'm going to vote for the free shit candidate. That's what happened. It's probably one of the reasons why many of these races were leaned heavily Democrat. It's just, I don't like it. I'm not saying that, like, look, I'm just giving you I'm just breaking it down like the show is for. Democrats lead Virginia and New Jersey by double digits. Newsom's, Prop 50 passed. So it's gonna be, bad for the places that those elections turned bluer. However, if you guys zoom out a little bit, if you guys just take a step back and stop leading your arguments with your emotions, okay? Let's think about this. In 1 year, we're going to be voting in the midterms, okay? 1 year ago, we voted in the general. 1 year ago, Donald Trump won because the left, the Democrat Party, had become so radical and so ridiculous that they put up the most, like pro-trans fucking socialist candidate. Kamala Harris is a socialist. People rejected her. And more people tend to turn out in midterm and general elections. So I wouldn't look at this midterm 2025 election as some type of, like, oh, this is what's going to happen next year. I think, in fact, quite the opposite. I think that we're giving people 1 year to see that the Democrats have not changed, that they're going more radical, and we're going to have 1 year to see their policies implemented. We're also going to have 3 years to see New York's policy implemented. And I think that if you look at where California is right now, there's a mass exodus out of California. There's people like Matthew McConaughey and Zachary Levy now talking about opening up film studios in Texas, where I live. That's gonna be awesome for our economy, as long as you don't California my Texas. We're seeing big companies like X and SpaceX and all that come to Texas. Florida is crushing it. Everyone's moving to Florida. Tennessee's doing really well. So, yeah, the blue states are getting bluer. The blue cities are getting bluer, but the red states are getting redder, and the red cities are getting redder. So, let's make this contrast very clear. In the midterms and in the 2028 election, let's say, look at the difference between Republican run districts and Democrat run districts. All right. Now, would it have been nice if Jack Ciattarelli and others ran, so we could also make the argument like, wow, in the past year, look at what Jack Ciattarelli has done for New Jersey. Yes, 100%, right? But I don't think it's that much worse that we're going to be able to make the argument, look how much shittier it's gotten. I'm not happy about this. I said this all the way up. I said I love this country more than I hate Democrats. So I don't think that, just saying, oh, this is good for us is the argument. What I'm saying is this is what happened. Now we have to deal with what happened, and we can use what happened to our advantage. Also, let's go back to X and show you what happened in my district. I went out and voted yesterday. I stood in line for an hour and 5 minutes. And here we go. Prop 1, Technical College Infrastructure Fund, 69%. Nice. Voted for. So we're going to have more technical college infrastructure, more trades. That's good. All right. Capital gains tax, 66% for. It's not a rise in tax. It's preventing. Bail denial for certain felonies, 62% for, right? That's tough on crime. Texas Water Fund allocation, 70% for. We need that. Animal feed tax exemption, less taxes, for. Prohibits securities transactions, 56% for, less taxes. Homestead exemption for veteran spouses, 86% for, less taxes. Proposition 8 prohibits death taxes, 73% for, less taxes. Less taxes, less less taxes, less government, less money. Elderly judicial conduct commission reforms, for. School homestead exemption increase from 100,000 to 140,000, 80% for. Um, Dementia Prevention Research Institute. I voted against this, but look, don't come at me, because I think the private sector can do more than the public sector. I don't give any more money to the government. I don't give any more money to the government ever. But I'm glad it passed. Dementia is important. My parents, my mom had a brain tumor. I know it's not dementia, but I have an understanding of what that's like based off of my mom's brain tumor. So this one, parental rights affirmation, right? 29% voted against this, which is insane. Voter citizenship clarification. You have to be a citizen to vote in Texas elections. This is a constitutional amendment. 73% for. Border county property tax exemption, less taxes. So, in many states, in many cities, right, we got way, way, way more red. So just because the races that you saw on the headlines didn't go the way of the Republicans doesn't mean that yesterday was a bad day. All right? There was many elections over the country. Many. And I think a lot of them did the right thing. Let's see here. Misfit is a real boy. I wanted to go back and find, I don't want to, jip the real Flash Gordon. Um, the real Flash Gordon gave another dollar a while back and said, I was on podcast with 10 of thousands. It would be tens of thousands. You're retarded. Of people surpassed your astroturf ass. Give me a date and I'll come on and do. It's really hard to read your typing because you are fucking stupid. I'll debate you anytime. Nice millennial comb over, by the way. Millennial comb over? I have hair. That's there's no there's no comb over. That's just my hair, dude. It's not even long enough to comb over. It's just I have I like hats. How about you? How about me and you hash it out on the kill stream? I don't know who you are, bro. You're not that important. Send me a message. I have a debate rule. You have to have 10,000 followers, you have to be a real person, and it has to be on Raging Tomatoes podcast. That's it. Those are my three rules because I know she's a good moderator. She's fair. She doesn't, she doesn't even I don't think agree with me politically, but she's just been fair on every debate that I've done. So I'm not going on any of your podcasts. I'm not going you go on Tomato. You reach out to Sarah the Raging Tomato. If you have 10,000 followers and you're not going to be anonymous, sure, I'll debate you. Other than that, kick rocks. Keep sending me money, by the way. I like it when my haters. I think we should make this a new trend. I want my haters to start sending me money. If my haters send me money, I will read your shit live. Okay, but yeah, let's get back to the news. So we got the election day ones out of the way. Let's move on to the next headline. Daily Mail. U.S. plane explosion, 7 killed when a. Why is this zoomed out? Whoa, that made it worse. 7 killed when U.S. cargo plane explodes at Louisville Airport. I saw the footage of this. It was insane. Let's see if they give you any more information. Is that a Dolly? Is that a Dolly Parton shirt? Yeah, it is. Her daughter's a real piece of shit. I don't care. I don't care. Every time you wear a fucking shirt and people are like, "Did you know about what that person did?" I don't give a fuck. Dolly Parton is awesome. I love Dolly Parton. I bought the shirt because it's a nice shirt. 7 people were killed and 11 were injured when a large UPS plane exploded as it took off from Louisville, Kentucky. The MD-11 plane exploded around 5:15 p.m. As it departed Muhammad Ali International Airport, heading toward Daniel K. Don't know how to say that word. International Airport in Honolulu. Terrifying video. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. 3 crew members on board. U.S. officials have affirmed, but unclear whether the fatalities were the members of the crew. Plane fueled. At least 2 victims remained in critical condition. Yeah, see, this is. If you saw the video, it was pretty wild. Look at this. Look at this damage. This looks like a terrorist attack. Fucking wild, dude. I don't know how many casualties they've reported, but I would be shocked if it was just the 3. That's what I'm looking for now. Jesus. This is wild, man. If you guys are listening and not watching, right, we're going through the images of this plane exploding, and it looks like a fucking bomb went off. Like that is a big fucking like mushroom cloud of fuckery. Damn. All right. Sean Duffy, blah blah blah. I'm not seeing casualties yet. Okay. Nearby. Da, da, da. Yeah, I don't think they're even giving the casualties yet, but I would be shocked if it was just the 3 people that were in the plane. Oh, here's a video. Well, here's a GIF. Here's a GIF of it. Damn. That's tragic. Bad shit happens, man. Bad shit happens. All right. Next up looks chemical. Let's not opine on what it could have been. Just wait for the report to come out. It could just be that that's jet fuel, which is it burns pretty hot. Government shutdowns be government why did this go to CBS News? Oh, it's at CBS News. It went right to the election. Maybe here we go. Government shutdown becomes longest in U.S. history after failed Senate vote. What to know on day 36 of the government shutdown? Government shutdown is now the longest in U.S. history, surpassing the previous record set in 2019 on Tuesday evening, the 35th day of funding lapse. The Senate failed for the 14th time to advance a House passed continuing resolution to end the stalemate on Tuesday. The vote was 54-44, with no new Democrats crossing the aisle to advance it. Yeah, it's all politics. All right. Shutdowns are a relatively recent phenomenon, having only begun in their current form in 1980, when the Attorney General issued a series of legal opinions saying it was illegal for government agencies to continue spending without authorization from Congress. All right. On Flash Gordon's brag about Killstream, Ethan Ralph, the host, an LOL cow, I hate that word, fake tough guy, and generally laughed out of the room wherever he goes. He hosts Ooga Booga Chest Beaters. All right. I've heard of Killstream. I don't think I've ever watched it. I don't couldn't tell you what those people looked like. Um, but fuck Killstream. Fuck them all. I don't care. Killstream. All right, last headline, and then we'll get to the social media. We'll get to Woke Wednesday. Elon Musk's $1 trillion Tesla pays Elon Musk's 1 trillion Tesla pay deal to be rejected by huge Norway wealth fund. Okay, what's this about? Norway's sovereign wealth fund has said it will vote against a $1 trillion pay package for the Tesla chief executive. The fund, which is the biggest national wealth fund, said that while it appreciated the significant value created under Mr. Musk's visionary role, it would vote against his performance award. Is that like $1 trillion that goes to Elon? We are concerned about the total size of the award, dilution and lack of mitigation of key personal risks. The warning from the bank, which is the seventh biggest single shareholder in Tesla with a stake worth of 17 billion, comes 2 days before the car maker hosts its annual shareholder meeting. If Musk increases the okay, so it's the increase it'll increase the value of Tesla. It's not a payout to Musk. If Musk increases the value of Tesla from about 1 trillion to 8.5 trillion over the next 10 years, Musk will, or maybe it is, I'm sorry, I'm reading this terribly. Musk will receive new shares that would push his stake in the company from nearly 16% to more than 25%. Well, it's his company, so I don't know. Fucking like, I don't understand how people are like, oh, the person has too much money. They're making you the money. I don't fucking know. Like, fucking, they employ a lot of people. I'm not a huge fan of Elon Musk, by the way. Like, I mean, I've disagreed with him. I've agreed with him. I think he's kind of a silly cartoon character. He's definitely a genius when it comes to, you know, building cars and rockets and shit like that. But he also teaches robots how to do karate. And I don't fucking think that's a good idea. All right. So it is 8 o'clock almost, and which that means we are going to get rid of the X and YouTube stream. So here's what we're going to do today. I am out of coffee. I need another coffee. And we're going to do a coffee ad read too, by the way, because it's my favorite kind of coffee. It's the coffee that I buy. And we got to practice ad reads because we are doing the Rumble Creator Program. We are at 20.6 hours. We need to get to 30 hours in 30 days, and we are on par for doing that. So let's get this done. Minimum viewership 10. Why is it saying I have no viewers? I definitely have 10 viewers because there's at least 10 people in the fucking chat. So something's glitching here. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I got 44 people in here. Interesting. Am I streaming on X? Wonder if I'm streaming on X and YouTube. Hmm. Come on. Give me a sec, guys. Technical difficulties. You know the name of the show. All right, hold on. If I click this, is it going to do something bad? I think we're good. I think I just need to reset something. Okay, Rumble Studio. Enter. Yeah, we're live. We're live. There we go. Just needed to X out of it and jump back in. Okay, we should be good now. Where were you? Get back here. Get back here. Blackout coffee. Oh, campaign is currently unavailable. I was going to do a ad read for Blackout Coffee, but looks like it's no longer available. But we can do one for 1775 coffee. All right. Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit dropped only 1,000 units. You're getting that bold, dark roast that hits hard, the smooth medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, mold free. Plus, you're also getting a golden spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother in law's opinions. And a black 1775 tumbler. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler alert, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Okay. We have now got to the 8 o'clock mark. I had to go and reset my Rumble Studio so that we could get rid of these streams. So if you are on Rumble or X, head over to rumble.com/TMP Uncensored if you want to watch the rest of the show. If you want to watch the Woke Wednesday segment, we're going to be able to do a longer show today. I have had work. Work has been crazy. But today I don't have to go in until later this afternoon, so we are going to be able to get through quite a bit. Total 933 viewers today, only 46 on Rumble. So I am going to be kicking off the vast majority of you. And out of 937 viewers, most of you on X, I think you can figure out how to type in rumble.com/TMP Uncensored. In fact, let's do a Rumble ad read as well. Oh, you must wait before another campaign. Never mind. I can't do it. I can't do two campaigns in a row, apparently. But yeah, head over to rumble.com/TMP Uncensored. Sign up for Rumble and join the live chat. We have 940 people watching on X right now. So I think that we can get at least 5 of you over to Rumble. And we are going to hit the